so now we're going to review exactly how to stop the 4-move checkmate when you see it coming at you. Once again, we have Peter Pawn coming on up 2 squares met by Ping Pawn. Then we have the Bishop Bandit who comes on out. He puts his attack on the F7 square. Like I said before, your antenna should be going up right now. The Dark Knight comes out, 2 squares straight, 1 to the side. Now watch for this queen because she may land on F3 and she may land on H5. Both can result in the scholar's mate, the 4-move checkmate. So there's 2 defense mechanisms that we must have for either of these 2 squares. If she comes here, then I'm going to give you a second to look at the board to try to figure out as many ways to stop the checkmate as possible. Remember, the queen wants to come to the F7 square to checkmate you here. So what can we do to stop it? Take a moment. Your time's up. Hopefully you paused. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at several different ways to stop the checkmate. Good ways, bad ways, and then you can decide which way is the best. All right, so if you see the queen coming here to put an attack on the F7 square, backed up by the bandit bishop that's attacking the F7 square, here's what chocolate can do. 1, we can bring out the nutty knight. We bring out the nutty knight. The nutty knight stops the queen from getting to the F7 square. Surely the queen can't fly over the knight's head and get a checkmate. We know that can't happen. Okay, so just bringing that knight there stops the queen from getting to the square. That's 1. Another option. We can also bring our queen here. Our queen puts protection on the F7 pawn, so that if this queen comes up, now you are ready for war. You have 2 pieces protecting that square. They have 2 pieces attacking. This is how it would pan out. The queen comes up and takes the pawn. In case you didn't know, that's the prince pawn. The Queen Francesca captures the queen. The bishop comes up. Oh my goodness, you took my mom. Take that. And then the king takes the bishop. Take that. And then we have a big war on the board. And as it would turn out, chocolate will probably win that war. Chocolate has captured. He has captured the queen, worth 9 points to most of us, and the bishop. Vanilla only captured the queen and the pawn. So chocolate came out on top. All right, so that's another way to stop it. Let's look at something else. So we have the bishop here, the queen comes here, we looked at the knight, we looked at the queen here. You can also bring the queens to a face-off. This will prevent you from losing in 4 moves as well. The queen might fly up and take the queen, and then the nutty knight can take the queen back. We have an even exchange that's happened. You live to fight another day. All right, let's look at another option. So we have right here, 1, queen here, 2, queen here, 3. All of these put protection or prevent the queen from getting to the F7 square. We can also bring down the pawn. This breaks up the relationship between the bishop and the queen. If the queen decides to come up now, that will obviously be a horrible move because now we can go ahead and capture that queen. She has no backup. All right, so moving that pawn down breaks up the relationship between the queen and the bishop. But what happens if the bishop captures the pawn? You're kind of back in the same situation. So you have to be aware of what to do here. You still have options. This is not a good one, by the way, because you're going to lose your queen. It's not worth it. We have to make better decisions. We have an option to bring down our bishop here, which will block the bishop from getting to that F7 square. We still have the option of bringing the queen here, but that means we just sacrificed our pawn for nothing. We still have the option of bringing our queen here. We still have the option of bringing our knight here. But as you can see, when you bring this pawn down, you kind of going to put yourself in the same situation. Just giving them a pawn here. Let's look at something else. We will also look at bringing the knight here. We bring the nutty knight to the h6 square. The queen decides to come up. She thinks she has a checkmate, but the knight surprises her by capturing the queen. This is a great sneaky move, especially for people who are going to be participating in the GMG. Sometimes students just don't take the time to look at what's going on the chessboard. So if we bring that knight here, now we put extra protection on the f7 square. We have the king protecting, we have the knight protecting, all right? You have to watch out for chocolate. Vanilla might try to trick you, so be aware that you move this knight here to protect this pawn. Don't get too loose by moving this pawn away and taking away that protection. You have to be aware of what's going on the chessboard. All right, so we looked at several ways to stop this checkmate. Also, some people I've seen do this. I don't recommend that one either. Even though the queen comes up, she says check. You're not a checkmate. You still have a place to go, but now your king is in the center of the board, and that's not exactly where you want him. You want him in the back. You want him protected until the end game when he might come out and fight for himself. But as of now, in the middle of the game or the opening of the game, you do not want your king in the center of the board. So this is not a great option. Now, what about if the queen comes? Well, I guess we do have one more option here, I'm sorry. We do have the option to move that pawn down as well. I'm not a huge fan of that move, but the queen clearly is not going to fly over your pawn and try to say checkmate. And if she comes here to the corner and puts you in check, well, you just got to run her away again. But now you've broken up your pawn structure, so you wouldn't really want a castle on this side because your pawns are out of place. So we got to look at the pros and the cons to everything that we do on the chessboard and off the chessboard, obviously. So we're going to look at if the queen comes here now. The queen comes to h5. She's coming at you from a different angle, yet you can see she's still attacking your f7 square. So what do you do? Well, what will work and what won't work. This won't work anymore. Yes, you put the queen under attack, good for you, but she's just going to slide right behind your knight and capture your pawn for a checkmate. That won't be good. So bringing the nutty knight to the f7 square, not good. Bringing the nutty knight to the h6 square, still good. Why? Because now you still have your king and your knight protecting the pawn. If the queen decides to come, your knight is in place, okay? What else? All right, if the queen comes here, we have the option to run her away here, but you have to be on your P's and Q's because that queen might just jet back to the f3 square and line right back up at your pawn, which means you're back in the same position as at first. So you have to go ahead and defend that pawn again, or protect it, or at least prevent the queen from getting to that square with one of our other moves that we've already viewed. Okay, so what else can we do from here? If the queen comes to that h5, she's attacking. We look at the knight here. You know this knight won't work. Moving that pawn could possibly work. You can't move this pawn because this pawn is pinned. And that won't be good anyway. Nothing there. This still works. Moving the queen there because it protects the pawn. Moving the queen to f6 still works because it protects the pawn. So we have the bishop, the queen tries to come up. We have protection on that square. This still works, although I don't recommend it. Same reasons as before. Queen comes up, it's going to run your king out. Not necessarily what you want to do in the opening game. But those are the different ways to prevent the checkmate from happening. Those are the different moves you can make to stop the checkmate. So be aware of that. You have to be aware of everything that's going on the chessboard. All right, that's it for the Ask Rob. Great question. Keep them coming. We'll keep on putting up videos for this GMG study hall. If you have any more questions,